Bachani, welcome to another video of the 2024 national and provincial elections results announcements. So I had a couple of conversations with political parties that participated in these year's elections. So let's check them out. So now that you've seen the results and you see that you got 2 seats in parliament, how does it feel? I think you already knew before the final official announcement, but now that it's done, how does that make you feel?
Look, now that it's official, we're really happy. We're really excited. We are glad to be in the room. We respect and are happy with South Africans for having entrusted us with that responsibility. We believe that we're there to bring a sensible voice in the room, to bring a voice of change in the room, to be the center in Parliament, and we're there to be a unifying force. I think one of the things, even about our leaders, that is well known and that we all respect is that he's a unifying force, and we're looking forward to that.
And then looking at your votes and the number of votes that you got, what does that make you think mean, or what do you think South African citizens are trying to tell Bossa?
Look, we respect and are grateful for the fact that we have seats and that they gave us seats. What we know, though, is that we have to earn the trust of South Africans. We have to earn our place, and so we're going to earn more. South Africans, I can guarantee you, we're not going to let them down, and we know that we'll multiply what we're doing. We'll multiply our efforts.
And then what does the future look like for Bossa in 2026, 2029 as well?
We start building for 2026 now. Our model as Bossa is actually set up really well for local elections because we ask communities to choose their leaders. We are continuing to do that, and we are continuing to work with community leaders to be able to help them to set themselves up for 2026. We're excited about that. We're looking forward to that. And yeah, like I say, in that time, South Africans will have seen more of us. There wasn't much time now. They'll have seen more of us, and I know they will entrust us with more.
And then now with Bossa, just my last question, now with Bossa entering into Parliament, what should then your voters expect Bossa to do, or how do you think people who voted for you can hold Bossa accountable now that they're placed in Parliament?
Absolutely. I mean, there's various ways to hold us accountable through the constituency processes, but also as a party we are going to continue engaging with communities. We are going to continue talking to communities. We are going to continue consulting with communities and with our constituencies. We won't stop. So absolutely they can expect us. It is a commitment that we had. We've always said that as Build One SA we exist to put power back in the hands of people, and so that's exactly what we'll continue to do.
I just wanted to get started. Now that you've seen that the DA has got 2 seats in Parliament, and I think that's something that you're hoping for growth in Parliament, how does that then make you feel as the DA?
So firstly, we've grown by 3 seats in the National Assembly, which is really, really good, and we are proud of that. But ultimately, this is the choice that the voters have made. And now it is up to us as political leaders to go back and reassess, look at the numbers at a national level, look at the numbers at the provincial level in various provinces, and decide what is the best way forward. As the official opposition, we can't simply sit back and do nothing when there's great amount of anxiety in South Africa at the moment, a lot of people feeling a lot of uncertainty. But ultimately, this is how democracies of proportional representation around the world find themselves. Coalitions are but part of what the next chapter of South Africa is. And so now cool heads are needed, maturity in political leadership is needed, so we can chart the next way forward.
And then now, as the Chief Whip of Parliament, I just wanted to ask then, what do you, looking at your votes and the number of votes that you received, what do you think South African citizens are actually trying to tell DA?
I think what South Africans are trying to tell us is that the time for dominant parties is over, and that it's about time that political leaders get together and essentially chart a way forward that places their needs at the center of whatever decisions are made. I think South Africans are being very clear that they have not been happy with how things have been going, and that's why you are not seeing a dominant party arising from these elections. And so we take that seriously. We are hearing the message and we're heeding the call, and that's why the DA leader did announce this afternoon that we will be engaging with all political parties to chart a way forward.
And then now looking at people, you spoke about mature political space in Parliament that you say. Now, while I was doing research on the ground, a lot of people were citing fear that now it looks like Parliament is going to look like it's going to be chaotic. We're going to have, if we move into a multi-coalition phase, you're going to sit in Parliament with people whereby every 6 months there's a motion of non-confidence against a certain individual. What do you have to say about that?
No, I think people mustn't be afraid. As I said, all maturing democracies go through similar phases, particularly proportional representation democracies. And so there are enough good people in South Africa, in that South African parliament, who will make sure that we put the interests of the country first. And so I don't think South Africans must have anxiety. There are legislative proposals that the DA has put in place to try and stabilize coalition governments, and I think this can be done. I think let's have a great deal of optimism, and I think as a country we must embrace this next chapter.
And then now with my last question, sorry, and then now looking at you in the party as well as the DA, where do you think the DA is, the direction that which the DA is going to, especially putting 2026 and 2029 in mind as well?
Look, our direction right now is to consolidate and obviously do a post-mortem of the election results, but also to make sure that we start looking at how do we prepare for 2026 and 2029, but also while heeding the current call. Of course, a lot of people are wanting to find out from us what are we going to do, and that's what the next week is going to be about.
Excited for the future?
Yes, I am, absolutely. And I urge most South Africans to be as excited. I think, as I said, there are enough leaders who care about this country who can get together and essentially chart the next chapter of South Africa in a way that is stable and that puts the people first.
First participant, for the first time, you even got yourself a seat in Limpopo and also in Parliament. What does that mean for UAT?
No, to be honest with you, we are grateful. Gratitude to all the doers and the voters at home. However, we are very aggrieved because the numbers that show on the board is not a true reflection of our work. We know as the doers that we have done the job, and we know that we deserve more than this, and with that we are saying we have questioned now the integrity of the IEC. However, we remain thankful to those who are trusting us with their votes.
And I know you've contested, you're one of the 26 parties who have actually contested and asked the IEC to actually halt the results. And where's the stage now, and what does the future look like regarding that?
No, we had a meeting today. We are in consultation with the lawyers, and then we'll take it from there.
And then also now, speaking post that now, what does 2026 as well as 2029 look for UAT?
No, it looks good. It looks good. Now we know that we need to train our people on time. Now we know we need to do more. And we want to do more because we work without resources. Everything that we did is through donation of the Africans. And now the Africans will unite and the Africans will be independent. And then at the end of, let's say 2019, definitely we will contest. Yes.
And then I just wanted to ask, now that people have voted for UAT and they've placed you in Parliament and also got a seat in Limpopo, provincial legislature,
yes,
what do you think are they also trying to tell UAT, and how are they actually people trying to make, or how are they going to hold you account now that they've placed you in Parliament?
Without being in Parliament, without any government background, we have built 35 houses in the space of 2 years. For the poorest of the poorest. In Limpopo, only this year we've built 5 houses. Fully furnished house, groceries for the community where we are giving that house. We've been taking care of our people. We've always been there. We have said it. Pan-African is not just a theory. It's an act. It's an action word. Hence we call ourselves the doers. We're going to continue. Now with a little bit of an income, we're going to give more. Because our work is to fight hunger. And definitely there will be improvement compared to what we have done so far.
But then I can come again and say the houses that you speak of are the houses that were also built by the church, which is the IPHC. How do you then distinguish between the two? Because the church I know has also built some houses for the community. Do you then count also those houses, or is then these houses separate from the church?
No, I definitely distance myself from, from the church.
Yes.
However, we have our social partner called our project, which we interact with. We've loved their job. But here's the thing. We've been doing this, but not maybe the correct way. The inclusion or the partnership with our project was to ensure that we give these houses correctly. Now, we will go and search for these things for the people who are poorest, the poorest. Now, the method that the TAO project uses is totally different. They choose someone within that community who knows for years this is the poorest of the poorest. So we won't get actors. So they've assisted us on the model. Now we adopted their model. Now when we move forward, we then included them in our projects. So we are not the church. We are not working with the church. However, we have adopted the TAO project model, which has been successful for years. Yes.
And then are you excited for the future now that you are finally in Parliament?
I'm excited for I'm excited for the doers and the UAT. However, I maintain it. I am aggrieved. I know that the number that I see on the board is not a true reflection. Everywhere we go, we fill our stadiums. Everywhere we go, the doers are there. And the work that has been done, at least on the board, we should have more than that.
And then just my last question, does then the UAT have any alliance political parties or any political parties that you're actually rubbing friends or you're looking to marry with?
In nature, the United African Transformation is a lefty. Now it will obviously work with the lefty as long as you are saying the expropriation of land without compensation, as long as we are in support of the Palestinians, we are together. We can work together as long as we are saying let's unite Africans, which is the foundation of the United African Transformation, as long as we are saying the independency of Africans, which is an elevation that the United African Transformation believes in, then we can work together.
Thank you for watching. For more content, please like, share and subscribe.